Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho, and tonight I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for the element of fire for the month of January. And if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video if you enjoy this type of content, and comment away and let me know if these messages resonate for you. So it's the first of a new quarter, so I am changing up my cards. I'm only switching out one of the decks this time, so I'm going to be using the Healing Waters Oracle for the first quarter, or for the first month of the first quarter for your messages from source. I read intuitively, so the messages that come through may not be exactly what the cards mean. And as I started last year, I will continue to do the I-ching at the beginning, giving us a monthly guide from another divination source. If you are interested in any of the books or the decks or the I-ching book that I read from, there is links in the description down below. With that, we'll get started with our first reading for fire of 2024. And your hexagram in the I-ching is number 29. It is the abyss. Sounds cheery, right? So the abyss abyss upon abyss, grave danger. All will be well if confidence is maintained and a sharp hold kept upon the mind. Activities so conducted will win esteem. So, before we get into too much of this, right off the bat, they're saying, pay attention this month. This is a time for thinking over any action you're going to take. No knee-jerk reactions in January for fire. Not exactly the strong point for fire energy because it tends to flare up and do things passionately, but the hexagram is saying it's the first part of this month is a good time, or this month in general. Pay attention, keep your emotions in check, use logic and reason, think before you jump. So let's look at our first line down here. And it is abyss upon abyss. In one of them, he tumbles into the cranny misfortune. This is talking like, don't just run along and not pay attention to what you're doing. You may have plans and goals going forward. You have your main big goal up there. If you've done vision boards, it's the first of the month. It's a good time to do them, first of the year, and really set your intentions for what you're going to do. But this is the time of planning, not so much action. And that's where it says in one of the abysses, he tumbles into a cranny. It's because you're running headlong into something and you haven't planned ahead and you haven't looked ahead. You're kind of running through the dark and not paying attention is what it's saying. So for our second line, we have abyss upon abyss rears up and the danger is acute. He falls into a cranny. There is nothing he can do to help himself. This is really saying if you're not planning ahead and really paying attention to what is going on, you're going to end up in a mess of your own creation, and there's not a way for you as a fire energy to pull yourself out of said mess. So what this is, again, is really reinforcing this planning part of life, not so much the action part right at the moment. So our third line, oops, I read that wrong. Anyway, danger lurks within the abyss. Only a small matter can he obtain when he desires. So no matter what is going on, you have this darkness. This is where you have to pay attention to new people who are coming into your life. The impressions that I'm getting are not, it's not your inner circle. Like, those people are the safe ones. It's that new person that just kind of pops up out of nowhere. They may not have your best interests at heart is what I'm hearing. So pay attention to the new people. That doesn't mean keep people out, but don't just open up and be like, here's the keys to the safe type of a thing. So we'll hop up here to the fourth line. A flagon of wine and a bamboo food basket both. These objects were handed to him through a hole in the rock. To the very end he remains free from blame. So this is really saying things are not always as they seem. You might actually make a connection, but it's going to be because of the barriers you're keeping. You're allowing this other person to gain your trust. It's not a matter of just throwing the gates open, letting them in. You're handing stuff back and forth through a hole in the rock, through a gateway. You're not letting them in just yet. You want to test the waters, so to speak, and that's what the hexagram is saying in this fourth line. So this is, you're handing back and forth, you're exchanging knowledges, you're building a trust relationship with the new people that are coming in, which is good advice just in general. So our fifth line, the abyss is not filled to the brim, the flowing water maintains its level, no error. With this line right here, it's a stabilizing point. This is where you will find out who you can trust and who you can't. With that, handing the wine and bamboo food basket back and forth through the hole in the rock, meaning the wall that you've built for protection more than anything, this is how you start to understand the people you can trust. And again, that does not mean that you have to be scared of everybody. It's just an advice to pay attention to those around you. Again, planning ahead, not rushing headlong into anything this month. Your yearly reading might be a little bit different, but this is more specific. We're focusing in on one time, not a general year-long forecast. So with our final one, our capstone here, bound with black ropes and imprisoned amongst thorns for 3 years, he fails to obtain what he seeks. So if you are not paying attention and you do have that knee-jerk reaction, what it's saying is there is a period of, sorry, I knocked something over. There's this period of time, and it's going to be in sets of 3. Could be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, worst case scenario, 3 years, where you have to try to fix the situation, but it's going to be 3 years of chaos, or 3 months of chaos, or 3 weeks of chaos if you're not planning ahead and really paying attention to those signs. They're also saying follow your intuition. If this is something that you're not familiar with, then start with 10 minutes every single morning of quiet meditation, quiet contemplation. Really allow your inner voice to come forward and talk to you, because that's going to help keep you out of the chaos that could be coming. So, that being said, we will hop over to... Oh, my desk got completely rearranged. Sorry. We'll hop over to our tarot, and when I talk about fire elemental energy, it's the fire which is above the zodiac signs, and fire influences, commands, and controls the elemental signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. There's a video in the description if you're interested as to why I read elements and not the zodiac. I'm way more comfortable with the elemental energies than I am the zodiac. I've been trying to work on zodiac. It's just not quite my thing. So I am improving now. So I tend to stick with the elements. And I read week to week, and there are, sorry, I didn't plan ahead, 5 weeks in January. And each week I look for a guide or guardian for you, a message from Source, which is a positive encouragement, something that message from your guides or guardians that Source wants to bring through. And then we look at a lesson or a challenge from the tarot for each week. So for the first week, we have your guide or guardian, and it's a guide or guardian in the fact of it can either guide you through the week or guard you from some of the hiccups that may be coming along from one of the lessons or challenges. So your first week is the goddess Lakshmi, and your stone is the dendritic agate, her golden grace. And let's see if I can read this and hold this up. Nope, can't quite read. Sorry. Enlightenment, prosperity, goodness, and grace flow through and around me. It is as though my soul dances in soft golden honey-like energy, abundant with nourishment and healing properties. Through her gentleness, the goddess offers my soul an irresistible invitation to receive her blessings and emanate the beauty of the divine. There is a gentle way through which I make even greater spiritual progress. I joyfully and peacefully accept this path and allow my heart to go free. So, fire, as with the reading, slow down, don't rush into things. The goddess Lakshmi and dendritic agate, which is this beautiful stone right here, and I do have some new pendants that I'm working on right now that will be in my store, hopefully in the next month or two, that have dendritic opal, but similar family. These are both very, very calming stones, and Goddess Lakshmi is very, very calming energy. She wants to help bring you to peace, help you find balance and stability. So when she comes forward this month, she's actually going to help buffer you from some of the chaos that may be swirling around. The I-ching was talking about, basically, if you're not planning ahead, you're going to fall into a pit, and she's here to help you plan, settle, and stabilize your life so that you don't crash headlong into that the abyss upon the abyss. So let's look at the message from Source. And we have, this is one of my new decks. It's the Healing Water Oracle. And it is the Sacred Well, replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty. This is tying into Lakshmi. She is the goddess that helps bring us to peace, tranquility, and quietness. And the Sacred Well is here to remind you that no matter what is going on in the world, no matter how chaotic, how busy, how frustrated, how must get everything done yesterday, the Sacred Well is saying, no, take a breath, receive peace, and slow down. That is not something that fire elemental energy likes to do. It's a little bit of a challenge for you, but you have a powerful goddess coming in this first week saying, let me help guide you. Let's calm this energy down. Let's plan ahead, and let's look at things from the broader perspective so that you can actually make a successful year going forward. But right off the bat, it's asking you to step your emotions down and bring your logic and reason to the forefront. So let's look at the lesson or challenge from the tarot for this first week. We have the Four of Earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to those less fortunate. This card is calling you out to be balanced. Give with prudence, receive with gratitude and grace. Donate to things that your soul is drawn to, but don't overindulge your philanthropic practices. This is that time where you have to understand the give and take. When you give, if you give too much, it can actually start to drain you. When you're giving from a place of plenty, so from the abundance, you've paid your bills, your grocery money set aside, everything else is kind of set aside, rainy day, and the abundance is what's left. That's the extra. That's the part that you can be generous with. And that's what they're saying is, don't be too cautious. In other words, don't hoard everything, but at the same time, don't give it all away either. Money is a form of energy. Finances are an energy flow. As long as it's moving, it's healthy. When it becomes stagnant or drains too much, then you start having problems, and that's what the Four of Earth is saying, is find that middle ground, that balancing energy in this first week. So let's take a peek at the second week's guide or guardian. And we have the Ascended Master Kuthumi and Moss Agate. It's the sacred ecosystem. The universe provides me with spiritual energy and charismatic magnetism to attract all beings in need of my light so I can fulfill my highest destiny as a healing presence in this world. I accept my place in the greater divine scheme, embracing supportive connections in the spiritual worlds and in the material world, with the understanding that my fulfillment and fulfillment of all beings is divinely intertwined. I give myself permission to plug in and receive. So this is continuing off of the message from the first week, where to give abundantly, you have to receive abundantly. And moss agate is a beautiful stone. Don't know if you can see this little ring here I picked up. Dim the light a little bit, maybe. No. But it has moss agate in it. And the moss agate is a growth stone. And the Ascended Master Kuthumi is not one I'm super familiar with. But this is about that growth. And the sacred ecosystem is as within, so without, as above, so below. So we're kind of looking at things from an alchemical standpoint. When you bring the inner world into balance, your outer world will become balanced as well. And that's a way to defend against the chaos that is swirling. Goes back to that divine timing, slowing down, paying attention to the details, and not rushing ahead. So let's look at your message from Source. And we have stagnant waters, feeling stuck, a call for shifts, flow, and change. This ties back to what the challenge was from the first week. Letting things stagnate is not healthy. So when it talks about not rushing ahead, it doesn't mean you're not doing anything. It means to plan. So this card is calling you out to not just sit lackadaisically by and not do anything. It's saying judiciously plan your next steps. Look ahead, see what you can figure out for the next steps, plan them out, and then take them, because the stagnant water will sour. And so you don't want to just be really lazy in this energy plan that we're looking at here. You want to be working, because through that flow, finances, relationships, all of it works best when it's moving and fluid. It doesn't work when it's locked in and stuck. And that's what the message from Source is keep everything moving, but moving in the correct manner. And in this case, it's more of an internal planning ahead moving than a physical motivation. So apparently we're staying in the hearth and home for fire this month. Your message from Source is the 8 of Earth, or your lesson or challenge, sorry. Skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. This goes back to your planning stage, because you're learning. You have to understand the next steps, whether that's in a relationship, whether that's in school, whether that's in business. Learning, paying attention, studying. Sometimes it's quietly observing other people, not creepy, not like, just observing as you're wandering around. Back in the day, they called it people watching, and it is a fascinating way to learn. And that's what they're calling you to do in this second week, is just pay attention and observe. See if your next step is leading you to a course of study. See if your next step is leading you to a new class, or maybe it's just your next step is calling you to watch the people who have the success that you want, and you don't have to emulate them completely, but what can you learn from observing them is the message that they're bringing forward for your lesson in this second week. Let's take a peek at the third week here. The deck is being a little grumpy, and we have Angel Lahabiel and Black Tourmaline. Purification. I courageously choose to let go. I embrace healing and renewal. I release and surrender with perfect trust. I am cleansed through a powerful outpouring of spirit and grace. Spaciousness now opens within me, beneath me, behind me, and before me. With this clean, clear space, that which is outmoded is absorbed and reborn as an unlimited potential for manifesting new sacredness. This is a wordy card. Now is the time of potential and grace, which I amplify and activate through the relaxation and release. I am blessed with spiritual cleansing and divine protection to begin again. Right off the bat from this one, you really want to take in that grounding energy. Black tourmaline is a powerful, powerful grounding stone. It also works to purify an area. Not to the same level that selenite or salt will do, but it's on that level. It's going to that level where you're talking powerful, powerful clearing energy. But it's very grounding. So you're clearing out, you're making space for prosperity, for abundance, however that manifests for you to come in. What they're saying with this one is this isn't the only action in the physical world that Source is requesting for you to step forward and do, and that is cleaning and clearing. So if your house is a little cluttered, especially after the Christmas chaos, you've been trapped indoors, snowy, muddy, cleaning the physical space will also help you clean the spiritual and the mental space as well. And that's where you have the angel Lahabiel coming in as well to say, let's do some purification rites, let's do some salt baths. Super relaxing, by the way. Let's really get grounded back into our bodies and our minds, because it's time for preparation, because there's a springboard, is what I'm sensing coming forward here. So let's look at your message from Source. We almost dropped the card. It jumped out so fast. The ripple effect. Part of something bigger, details are taken care of. Like that. So, as you do the inner work, cleaning the house, cleaning your inner house, it triggers that purification outside. When you're clearing space before you, behind you, above you, and below you, to the right and to the left, what you're doing is you're making space for spirit. You're making space for the things that you have been looking forward to, the things that you have been not hunting for, but things that you have been planning for, desiring, but you have to do that clearing, and that clearing triggers a ripple. As you clean and uplift your environment, it uplifts out like throwing a pebble in a pond, and it ripples outwards. That's what you're doing by starting the process within. It's rippling out, and that's going to help push back on the heaviness from, like what the I-ching was talking about, is there's that rush to the finish line is not the benefit, but taking your time and observing and enjoying the journey. That's what you're being called to do in this third week. So your lesson or challenge, and they're saying this is a lesson, so pay attention. It's the number 10 in the tarot. It is a major arcana, so this is life lessons. These are important things that are happening. And it is the wheel with Archangel Michael. As the wheel turns, things get better, things get worse. There's always a cycle, there's always a pattern. With Michael, he's helping you break old patterns. He's helping you break cords, cut cords, clear things out. This week, this third week of January, is really about clearing and making space, and that's one of Archangel Michael's particular skills. He likes to help us improve, and if we have to cut away things that are no longer serving, then that is what he is stepping up to do. So this third week, you have the angel Lahabiel, you have black tourmaline, you're working with that ripple effect of cleaning things out, and Michael's coming in to say, I have this really awesome blue flame broom, so let's clean house. So that's the message of that's the lesson from the tarot there. So let's take a peek at the fourth week in January. We have Archangel Metatron and clear quartz. So you're cleaning house in the third week because something's coming in on the fourth. It is power. I embrace the opportunity to explore a healthy relationship to my personal power. This supports my spiritual journey to fulfill my destiny for the benefits of all beings. I choose to express my power in a way that is respectful, merciful, and kind towards myself and others. I utilize my growing powers and abilities to awaken my boldness with confidence. I recognize the inevitability of my divine fulfillment. Archangel Metatron is the Ascension Angel, the primary angel that works with our spiritual growth. He is there to help guide us if we have a mission to expand our awareness, which will also expand the awareness of those around us. So the third week you are clearing out, you are making space, because in the fourth week you have very powerful guides coming in. Archangel Metatron and clear quartz amplify. That is one of the things that they do. They also elevate. So you cleared space and you made room because you have this new wave of energy that is coming forward. As I said for the last week, there's a springboard effect I sense coming, and this is that springboard. Archangel Metatron is here to help you jump to the next level, but this is not an outward doing all the work and being busy. This is a spiritual journey, so you're working on the inner planes at this point. So let's take a little message from Source here. We have thank you. Gratitude, appreciating what is sustaining you. When you work with the ascension energy, when you build on that practice of the clear quartz energy that amplifies and uplifts, you'll come to a point where you feel grateful. The gratitude that spills out from your heart energy, your heart chakra, that actually will energize your entire auric field, is what you're working to achieve. Gratitude about everything. gratitude for the traffic jam, gratitude for your paycheck, gratitude for the job, even if you don't like it, gratitude for everything in life, because you can learn and you can grow from everything. And when you're tapped into the energy of clear quartz and you're tapped into the guidance of Archangel Metatron, you can see the spiritual reasons behind why these things have happened. Sometimes it's a simple fact of you're driving too fast, it's time to slow down because there's a cop around the corner. Other times it's, you know what, you need a minute, so you're just going to have a really quiet day at work where you're almost bored, but it lets your mind daydream. Little things like that you can be very grateful for, because that's the universe saying, you know what, you need a second to plan something out. You need a way to slow you down so that you're not ending up in a bigger problem, going back to the I-ching, because that's the chaos that's kind of swirling out there, and you don't want to run headlong into it. So with that, work on gratitude in the 4th week. And your lesson or challenge from the tarot, back to the earth again. The King of Earth: generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time, confidently accepting opportunities, and the Midas touch. The only way you can accept an opportunity, because they usually are fleeting, but they're subtle. And that's the message that's coming through. When you're working with Archangel Metatron and you're building that inner purpose, you're understanding your divine will, you're tapping more deeply into that. The King of Earth's energy can open doors, but those doors, if you're going too fast and you're just plowing ahead and not looking around, you're going to miss. And that's what the King of Earth is saying, is as you have tapped into that powerful, uplifting energy, you're really starting to understand what it means to say thank you, what it means to feel gratitude. And feeling gratitude is hard. I'm just going to be honest with you. But when you can feel gratitude for that obnoxious person you work with, when you can feel gratitude for that red light that caught you just before you were ready to break the barrier, all of those little things, you start to understand what's important. Literally, what's important. When you slow down, that's when you see the opportunities. When you step into a courageous and more professional mindset about things, instead of knee-jerk reactions, you can step back and look at it from the broader perspective. And that's what the King of Earth has done. He has mastered this ability. He has gained knowledge, wisdom beyond most people's comprehension, because he has become the King of Earth, the King of Pentacles, the King of everything hearth, home, and the physical world. With that knowledge, he can see things from the broader perspective. He doesn't make knee-jerk reactions. He watches everything and he plans his next steps. And that is the gift he is offering to you in this 4th week, is let me help you understand what it means to slow down, what it means to plan ahead. So this 4th week, you have Archangel Metatron and you have the King of Earth, both working to help support you and uplift you and understand those next steps. So let's look at the final week of January for fire elemental energy. Come on, crystals, let's talk. There we go. We have, interesting looking card, Goddess Gaia, and Ocean Jasper. That's what that is. We have the Goodwill card. I activate the spiritual power that benefits and protects all beings through mutual enhancement, the power of goodwill, generosity, and grace. I plug into the golden energy grids of grace that rise from the earth and provide all that is needed for every being to manifest its own destiny. I put my faith in the potency of encouragement. I hold an empowered vision for myself and all other beings. Gaia's coming in because you're working on uplifting, you're getting into that more spiritual mindset. She's here to help you anchor that. We are connected to the heart of Gaia, the heart of the planet, through a crystalline cord that leaves from your root chakra and goes straight into the heart of the planet. We're plugged in, and that's what they're talking about with the grounding cord. Gaia is saying, work with the flows. You're uplifting, which is great, but remember, you live here. What you're trying to do is you're here to uplift others as well. So you're not just anchoring yourself with this card, you're anchoring the energy down in, which is helping the planet itself vibrate to a higher frequency. And so Gaia is here to help you understand and help guide you if you've never worked a lot with grounding energy. This fifth week, that's what Gaia is coming forward to do. She's here to help you understand more of your life's purpose, and your life's purpose is going to be completely different than what you think it is. Because your purpose is to find joy, to uplift others, and to grow spiritually. And that's going to be very, very different for each person. But Gaia can come in this fifth week and help you understand that mission. And ocean jasper is a really pretty stone. It's layers upon layers. It looks almost like ocean waves in it, and a lot of times it's lots of blues, some oranges, and a lot of green. So it's got a really beautiful stone. So if you have one of those, I would wear it or carry it with you in this fifth week to remind you of that connection to Gaia. So your message from Source is the rainbow: sweet relief, new beginnings, and a new way forward. This is that springboard that I was talking about in the third week. This is that energy of you have made it through the month, you have cleared out stuff, you're working on that spiritual development. You now can understand and see, hopefully, the next steps along your path. You can see where you need to go, when you need to do it. That divine timing aspect has been really revealed, is what they're saying, and that's going to be different for each person, so take what works here. But with that, the rainbow, it's an energy field of positivity. The rainbow contains all of the chakras, so this is an elevation of you on a spiritual level as well as possibly a physical one, is what they're saying. So the message from Source is you've done a lot of work. You can breathe easy. That part's over for now. Doesn't mean you're done, because we're never done learning. But it's that particular lesson cycle that you went through this month is at an end this fifth week. And you couldn't plan this if you tried. The lesson from the tarot is number 20, renewal. It is Archangel Jeremiah. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts, time to move in a new direction. What you've been doing this month is reevaluating, planning ahead, and looking at how things can be refreshed and renewed. How can you expand? How can you uplift not just yourself but those around you? And with the final card for this reading, it's calling out that you are at a point of renewal. You have renewed your personal drive. You have renewed yourself by taking a little bit of a physical break from running around, and you're ready to move forward. And because of how some of these messages came through, there may be something new that's come in for you that actually changes the way you look at life. And that can be a really awesome thing. Could be a little bit confusing because you didn't expect that one minor change to shift everything as drastically as it did, but that's how Spirit likes to work sometimes. So with that, I hope you enjoy this month. It looks like it's going to be a pretty powerful month. Tap back in throughout the month to the different guides that come forward, even if it's just to help you through that week, or if it's a new guide you've never heard of, something to maybe meditate on and work with. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Hit that like button and drop comments. Let me know what you think. And I will see you in the next episode.